really, I don't want to pay $100 to repair this. I'd rather pay $7. So I just fixed my D300 camera. I fixed it. I saved a lot of money too. So I fixed it with this $7 tool. It's a pair of tweezers. Look at this, needle nose tweezers for $7, $6.99 to be exact, and I got it on Amazon, yes. So if you take a look at the specs of these tweezers, they're nothing special. They didn't cost me like $30 like precision tweezers do. This is just one that has, let's see, it says anti-acid, extra hard, anti-magnetic, high exactitude, super, it says super, precision non-corrosive tweezers. It says right there, see? So they're nothing special. They're just like tweezers. They're $6.99 and they're on Amazon, and I used it to fix this. What happened? Well, I've been getting the CHA error, as you see here. If you've ever received this error on your Nikon DSLR cameras before, it's like a card error. So something's wrong with your card. There could be dust on the contacts. It could be that memory is full. But in my case, I had put this tried and true memory card into my D300 for years and years and years, ever since I first purchased it. And suddenly one day, something happened. It wouldn't read the card anymore. So I pushed it in, and it felt like it was a little more snug than usual. And I just pushed it in all the way. And then I had the CHA error appear. And I was like, what's going on here? And then when I removed this card and put it in another card reader, it couldn't read the card either. So there was something wrong with something, right? So I was looking at the card closely. I couldn't really see, but I couldn't see what was going on here. And until I looked very closely and I saw that the holes on the card, two of them were a little closer together than they should have been. So there was like one big hole there for where there should have been two holes. So I thought to myself, what could have happened here? Wait. Did two of the pins kind of come together for whatever reason, and then inserting the card in again could have widened that hole, thereby making the hole next to it smaller looking so that I couldn't really see it? I think that's what happened. And so when I opened up the ComplactFlash port and I looked very closely, now I have very old eyes. I can't see things very clearly unless I'm holding things like this far away. So upon closer examination, using the help of my trusty iPhone to magnify what I was seeing down there, I saw that two of the pins were very close together, basically touching. And so that's what caused this card to be like a paperweight after that. And then I reasoned to myself, I said, I wonder if I can just get this repaired. Like, somebody out there has to be able to repair these things, because Nikon's not going to take your 10-plus-year-old camera and fix it. Right? So after 10 years, you're on your own. Yeah, that's not just with Nikon, it's with a lot of companies. So, and I even discovered like certain camera repair shops, the starting fees for fixing camera are $250 and above. That's nuts. So I called up my local authorized camera repair out in Willow Grove, and they were the ones recommended to me by Unique Photo down in Philly. And they said to me that, well, listening to your problem, we can fix it, but yeah. And I said, so you can do that within an hour? What would you charge? Well, that's like a simple process. Basically, we just charge you for the sensor cleaning, which would be $89. So I was like, oh, okay. I can kill two birds with one stone by getting a sensor cleaning and my camera possibly repaired. But what if it isn't repairable, right? This was all before I knew that the pins were like stuck together like this. And I thought to myself, I wonder how much a new D300 costs, because I was like looking around perhaps for the possibility of a used camera and how much it would cost compared to repairing the thing. Because sometimes it's better and cheaper to just purchase the thing from elsewhere, like a used version of that, versus trying to repair the thing. But here's the cool thing about this camera here. This is probably the most pristine D300 in the world right now. Like, I've kept this mainly at home, and so there's very little dings and scratches and stuff like that on this camera. So I love this camera because I've taken care of it. So I'm not sure I really want to replace this with a $100 used, all scuffed up and marked up camera. So I said to myself, what could go so wrong? Like, the camera's already shot. I'll just get this pair of tweezers and repair it, right? So I was reading on some forums that some people have actually been able to straighten out those pins and quote-unquote repair their cameras. And so I gave it a try for $6.99, $7. Can't go wrong. So the reason why you want to use tweezers like this, they look like chopsticks attached to an end right here, is because things like this, like your average tweezers, are more shaped like this, and you really can't get this into small, tight spaces like a compact flash card slot. So these are the Tamiya tweezers, and they're really good. They're known as sticker tweezers or decal tweezers, and they're really good for picking up small decals, but you can't use them for precision things. So these are more like jeweler's tweezers, and they're actually kind of big for jeweler's tweezers. This is like a big version. So you would basically concentrate your picking purposes at the very tip here. And so what I would do is I would carefully run this into the compact flash card slot. I saw where the two pins were together, and I gently pushed one of them back to where it should have been. So you can physically see that there were all of these, there was 2 rows of these compact flash card pins, and one of those pins was slightly over to my right. And so I gently tried to pry them apart, and you could do this easily. Look how skinny, small these tweezer tong needles are, right? They're needle-like. Like if I poked myself with this, I'd be bleeding. Like this is how sharp they are. And I thought to myself, these have to be relatively strong to be able to hold the metal as you can gently pry it apart. And they are. They're very strong. I was also afraid that maybe they would like pry off, like basically break off inside the camera. But as I said, this was like my experiment after all else failed, right? So don't do this on a live camera that still works, right? So if it doesn't work and you're like at the end of your crossroad, then give this a try. So yeah, I gently pried the pin back, and then I took this card and I saw where the holes were, and I gently opened up the hole that was like squeezed shut almost. And then I made sure that I could place my tweezer in this way as well as this way. So this way, and then rotate 90 degrees this way. And I did it with the 2 holes that were affected. And I also made sure that all the surrounding holes, that when I pushed this in, and I kind of like estimated the depth of how much I pushed the tweezer tongue into the hole. And so I reasoned that if I'm able to push in the tweezer tongue into the affected holes the same way, the same depth, I should be good. So not only this way, but also 90 degrees this way. So yeah, and then I gently pushed this card into the slot, and I felt like a little bit of pressure, like I think things were not totally straight, but eventually when I gently pushed it in, and I saw the telltale light, it blinked saying that it was a good card, it then registered, and there was no CHA error in it anymore. So the CHA error, the change card or card error was gone. And that was so cool. And so I fixed my own problem with $7 mechanical like tweezers, right? So, and then I also have a card reader right here, and I gently pushed this in, and I probably straightened out the holes even more. And yeah, it read through the card reader as well. So very cool. So I fixed both my D300 camera and my card, thereby saving me the cost of purchasing a new card and the cost of repairing my D300, which would have been $89 for the so-called sensor cleaning and the 1 hour of fidgeting by the camera repair person. So other places would charge $75 for a cleaning, but they probably would not include the fixing of the pin, because not very many people want to touch these things, right? They're over 10 years old and it's low. So it's like, well, really, like, how much, what have they got to lose, right? So if they can't fix it, they can't fix it. And then technically they can't charge you, or maybe they would charge you for an hour's worth of their time. I don't know. But it's like, to me, it was like worth it to try to repair this on my own before I surrendered it finally to somebody else to repair. And really, I don't want to pay $100 to repair this. I'd rather pay $7. Pretty darn cool. So everybody, if you like this video, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel, and you'll see more videos just like this one. Until next time, everybody, see you. Bye.